Hello, Dr. Darnise. Welcome back into another installment of Dr. Darnise's House of Religion, Magic, and History. Look, it's October. That means it is Hoodoo Heritage Month. Yep, I got the T-shirt. Took the trip, got the T-shirt. Um, the Hoodoo, right? This I got actually in California, Joshua Tree, California, at a record store. It's a record store there called the Hoodoo. I don't think it has anything to do with actual hoodoo, but I saw the shirt, I had to have it. Yeah, so what I want to talk about today is, I'm going to do a few videos this month about hoodoo because it is Heritage Month. And to remind people what is hoodoo, because these things become trendy online and people want to go for all the aesthetic and they taking pictures of their altar and they're doing this and doing that. But be reminded that this is a survival based spirituality, right? So when we say this is an African based folk religious or folk spiritual practice. This is what African people coming to this country had for our own healing, for our own wellness, for our own protection against all kinds of torture and cruelty, enslavement, all kinds of oppression. So, hoodoo is our own system. It is our own system for protecting ourselves, for healing ourselves, and yes, conjuring the gods to be on our side when all seemed lost, as it did, right, in this context, as it did seem all lost. So we created this, African people created this particular kind of spiritual root working system as a form of protection. So, other people who are not of African descent say, well, I want to practice too. Well, this is ancestor based, meaning our African ancestors. This is for our own protection against multiple systems of oppression. So, who are your ancestors and what forms of oppression are you trying to throw off in using hoodoo, right? So, there are these things by which I say, yeah, you need to be a person of African descent. In the African Americas, we created this system for our wellness and well being. And that meant against certain systems that were trying to oppress us. So, if you belong to some other groups, then I'm not sure you can really plug in so that it's an authentic practice for you. I'm not sure what ancestors you're calling upon to help you. That's my take. Maybe y'all have another one. Now, I do know, I will say, because once we got to these Americas, we had to do this thing like religious scholars say, syncretism. Syncretism means we mix some things together. Syncretism means we're creating something anew because we're in a new environment and a new context. So, given that we were in a particular environment, now we're in the American South and not on the shores of Africa or Central Africa in the Congo anymore. You have to make use of the environment where you are, the plants where you are. You have to get to know these plants in this region. You're around different kinds of people. There's an indigenous population here, right? Even the Euro-American, you're getting to know their language and their religious practices. All that stuff gets wrapped together, right? The Appalachian people, poor white people, right? They bring a certain something, but this is an African-based tradition. So yes, it does get mixed, but it's an African-based and based upon our connection to our ancestors. So this month, what can you do? This month, if you're like, I don't have time or I don't have a lot of knowledge, what can I do? Just get yourself some white candles and make a little altar. If you have not already, right, put your pictures of your deceased loved ones and light a candle every day this month. You can do that. You can do some cleansing rituals. You can take some Florida water and just wipe down your windowsills. I like to do that because dust collects on the windowsills, and sometimes you don't be thinking about that dust. But you can just do ritual cleaning, right? To just clean out the cobwebs, get the energy moving again. And you do this with an intention about why this is part of my spiritual practice as an African person, right? There are things that you can do. And I want to also say, too, that the practice of hoodoo is, okay, it's not a religion. It's a set of spiritual traditions that we created, and in many cases to go alongside Christianity, because that's what we received when we got on these shores, right? And for many enslaved Africans, you had to take on this religion of Christianity. Well, we did it in a particular kind of a way, right? We did it our way. We created a folk religion out of even the Christianity that they gave us. And good hoodooists use the Bible. They use the book of Psalms in particular, right? They knew that this world is created by God. And everything that we use, all the roots, all the elements, the dirt, the trees, the leaves, the animals, all of those things possess the ashe from the Creator. So you can use the Bible. You could use the Bible in an African kind of a way, right? It's not the same thing that the Euro-Americans were doing. We did it in our kind of a way. So that meant that we didn't find it to be in conflict. You could be a Christian and also practice hoodoo. Because in hoodoo, you were doing root work. And sometimes that meant you were the healer for the community. You were helping people with all kind of issues, right? Their love issues, but also healing or protection work. So it didn't conflict with why you going to Jesus, right? Why are you praying to Jesus? Why are you going through your Christian rituals? It wasn't considered to be in conflict. It was an add-on. It was in addition to. It was the way we also took care of ourselves. And so I wanted to say too, when I was saying, what can you do? What can you add on? You can honor your ancestors by lighting that candle. You can remember them for the struggles that they overcame. And sometimes people will say, well, some of my ancestors are not the greatest of people. Well, make it better. If you know they weren't, how do you make it better? And sometimes people will ask me, like, well, I see all these other videos about people showing their work. They show their altars. I don't show that. I don't show my altar. I don't show my candles that I light. Or I don't show that. And I personally don't think that people should show their work on the internet. Because what are you doing? What are you inviting people into? To see your ancestors, to see what you say or what you do, what you invoke, the way you do. That should be personal. That should be your own power base, and it's not for all eyes. See, living on the internet, people feel like they want to show everything. They want to take cute pictures and put it on Instagram or wherever. Everything for everybody's eyes. Because then you get people appropriating, right? We get the culture vultures. You get the misappropriation of our stuff because we're so eager to share it. And these other people, they don't really know what they're doing, but they just saw this person on here doing this little ritual, and so they decided to do it on their channel, and now they're making money doing it, and you're not. And not that you even want to make money doing it, but you see them running away with it. They got the likes, they got the subscribers, they got the whatever, the clout even. So I don't show mine. I'm not going to show mine, but I do tell you some things to do. Like I'm saying, get your candle. If you don't have time, if you don't even know what to do, get your candle. And I always tell you what to have on hand: a black candle, an orange candle, road openers. I always tell you, oh, it's Halloween season? Go get your black candles now. The dollar stores are full of them. It can be hard to find black candles and orange candles. So while it's this season, go get your candles. Anyway, I'm going to make another video in this hoodoo series, so watch out. I have a hoodoo story. Now, here I am in the low country in Savannah, Georgia, right? I got a story for how this woman just walked up on me and started asking me for a ritual. She said, "Sister, do you know how to?" And I said, "Yeah, but I don't think you want to do that." I will tell you about that in the next video. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're on the long haul team, I appreciate you. Put that in the comments, long haul. Don't forget about my Patreon. Support the channel. support the channel. If this is helping you in any way, support the channel. I know I said I was going to do like a class for Black history, but folks act like they didn't want to do it. So I don't do it. If you want to do it, go to Patreon and support. But at least just support the channel. And if you already have, because there's some people who have, I want to give you a shout out. Thanks for supporting me on Patreon. All right, that's it. Bye for now.